Hello, people on the internet. This is Kelly from Nice Lady Productions. Let's start with the premise. You have a DSLR camera and you have all this stuff that you have to mount to your DSLR camera in order to turn it into a movie making machine. So of course you go out and you buy some things that are going to mount to the top, but really in all actuality, are any of these things going to work? This is when a cage comes into play. Now there are a lot of cages on the market, so why are we talking about this one? This is a very unique cage. It's not made for any one DSLR camera in particular. So what I like about that is if I use different DSLR cameras, I don't have to buy a different cage for each one. This is not a cage for little boys and girls. This is a cage that's going to hold everything, and it is seriously well built. The base plate is really the epicenter of the Zacuto Zwiss Cage. And you can see here, this top plate is where you would mount your camera. And you'd have this red knob that moves from left to right where you can completely position your camera. Also loosen a couple screws and you can move the base plate where you mount your camera up or down so that you can put a tall-bodied camera in there, a camera with a battery pack. You can have the bottom and the top rods being used at the same time if you want to mount some accessories to the front, like a matte box or a follow focus. So when you buy the Zwiss cage, you're actually buying the DSLR base plate, and you could actually remove the whole cage, and you have this great base plate. The cage itself has a Zwiss plate on top, so of course you have all the mounting 1/4, 20, and 3/8 mounting screw holes. I love these 15mm rod holes because if you have something like this sexy and fabulous American arm, you can mount monitors and easily have a quick release. If I could improve anything about this cage, I would add more 15mm rod holes to the center of the cage so I could add more quick release there. I also noticed that on the 3/8 holes, the threading was a lot shallower than any of the Manfrotto bits that I had to screw into those holes. So what's really unique about the Zacuto Zwiss cage is the fact that they have handles on their cage. There are a lot of cages out there, but not lots with handles. And with this version of their cage versus their other one, the handles are offset, and it makes it, even if you just put your hands out in front of you side by side, when you offset them, it actually makes holding it very comfortable. And when you're shooting, certainly time is of the essence. You can easily jump off your tripod with a quick release and boom, you're going handheld and have all the same kit that I have mounted to my camera. With handheld, you can get some really interesting shots. Shots you're not going to get with other pieces of kit. I mean, it really is when you're shooting anything, it's really about picking the right, choosing the right piece of gear for the right shot. And you know, if you know anything about film theory or camera movement, there's really a lot that you can do to tell a story in a scene by choosing to shoot it in a certain way. And you do movement that has a little bit of movement. It doesn't have that rolling shutter, that look to it. It has kind of a proper amount of inertia. You can do really cool smooth moves by connecting the Zwiss cage to a monopod. There's something about a little bit of movement every once in a while that can bring some tension to a scene. When you're choosing camera gear, it's really about picking the right gear for the particular job. Now, another thing that's really unique about this kit is it comes with a top handle. The top handle provides the opportunity to get some really cool low-mode shots. You can mount things to the front and the back of the 15mm rods on the top handle. You can also screw in things to that top handle. Another thing it provides is the ability to get some shots you're not going to be able to get using a DSLR unless you had a top handle attached to it somehow. I think what's really cool about this is it's a cage, right? It's a cage for mounting all your gear to, but it's more than that. You can use it for handheld shots. You can use it for low-mode shots. So here's some shots of my dog in the backyard using the top handle, and I'm just following her around. Mesmerizing, I know. Even more mesmerizing is the next set of shots. I wanted to see if I could compare a shot that I could get using the top handle with a shot I might be able to get using a Steadicam. So I took out my Steadicam Merlin 2 on my skateboard, and here you can see the shots I got with that. And now a similar setup, but using the Zwiss cage on my skateboard. Am I saying that you can get the same shots with the Zacuto Zwiss cage as you can with the Steadicam? No, not at all. But what I am saying is this is a cage. And look at the cool shots I can get with this cage. Pretty impressed by this, considering it is not in fact a Steadicam, it's a cage built for holding a bunch of camera gear. There's nothing cheap about this cage in price or build, but I think that you get a lot of bang for your buck with this beauty because you can tear it down and customize the rig that you want to build with it. But above that, you can get really cool shots with the side handles and the top handle. Okay, that's it for me. Thanks a bunch.